Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Spirit Blossom Teemo, and we'll be facing off against the Twisted Fate adventure from the Rogues of Runeterra campaign. I decided to play Spirit Blossom Teemo because I figured it would be interesting. We can just try and draft a very low curve deck, and then we combine that with Spirit Blossom's Teemo ability to steal cards from the opponent's hand to never really run out of cards, even though the opponent's power will make it so we have to discard 3 every turn. We're obviously running the same setup I always run on Spirit Blossom Teemo. It's just so good. Scourge Stash to drop down Teemo for 1. Raven Army allows us to play Teemo on the first turn combined with the Scourge Stash. And it also gives us a little bit of longevity from the drain. And then Mischief Maker's Flute, so that we shuffle a bunch of Puffcaps into the opponent's deck with Teemo. Combine that with the Puffcap Proliferation rune, and the opponent will be in for a World of Hurt eventually, once we shuffle enough Puffcaps in there. Nautilus, no. Poppy, maybe. Senna, no. I think Poppy is the correct choice, just because it's the lowest curve I could get here. Also, Senna doesn't really synergize with our deck. Solaris Sentinel is not that great of a card. But Yordle Squire with regeneration's pretty bad. We have 8 rerolls. I will use one here. Any Gangplank, Anivia. Yeah, definitely pick up the Any. It's a low curve, just like I wanted. Evolution. No way I'm passing that up. So it will be a +1 on Any. Nothing there. +1 there. Worst case scenario, everything I get, all of my units get a +1/+1. But if I just get more keywords on my units, I just get more buffs. Do I want iterative improvement? Nah, let's reroll. Legion Deserter. Again, all allied everywhere buffs. I don't have a way to buff that up, so it's not that great. Elixir of Wrath, I guess I have to pick up something. Veteran Investigator is cheap. Mr. Thrift is pretty good, because we want to shuffle as many Puffcaps into the opponent's deck as possible. Let's do Portal Pioneer, I guess, for the flexibility. Malmutation for 6. Now let's pick up Coup de Grace instead. Bursting Backpack is fun, even though it's not that great. And last but not least, Salvage. Practice makes perfect is interesting, but no. Let's reroll this. Salvage is great. Insider Knowledge. Let's pick up Insider Knowledge. Okay, we have a very good draft here. I doubt we'll struggle all that much against most of the encounters because of that. The fact that we'll be able to... Wait, since when do I start with 103 health? Do I have that many levels / upgrades on Spirit Blossom Teemo? Maybe. Well, look at me, I'm the boss now. Starting with over 100 health. Do I care about playing any here? Sure, let's drop down any. We will end up wasting one of the insider knowledges. But I think it's okay. Never mind, because I drew something for something that ends up being free. So I can drop down another insider knowledge. It's not really necessary though. Let's pass on that. Rebooter. Shroom Explosion. Let's do Shroom Explosion there to deny the 4 damage to my Nexus. Then we'll just shuffle more Puffcaps into both players' decks. And if the opponent wants to attack, I can safely jump block. We have inevitability on our side. Those Puffcaps are not going away. More powder. It doesn't really do much for us, but we can play it to give priority back to the opponent. Drop down Legion Saboteur. Are you going to do anything, opponent? Or are you just going to let me kill you? Because that's what it seems like it's happening.
I want to play a game of hide and burn.
Come on. Okay, he doesn't have anything. Nice. That was definitely a good first showing for the deck in this adventure. I was still forced to discard a couple of cards, but that was mostly because I hit a bunch of card draw on the first turn. We can potentially streamline the deck further. It might not be necessary. Arachnoid Sentry, Legion Drummer. Let's pick up the Legion Drummer because it's cheaper. We'll go down for the... Let's do the top path. Since the reward is basically the same on both sides, let's go for the path that I don't normally go towards. Toss those two. Hopefully we get some more 1-cost cards to play alongside the Spirit Blossom Teemo. Bit early for that Abyssal Guard. I can't exactly play him right now. Might as well just do this. Give a couple more stats to the Teemo. Shuffle a bunch more Puffcaps into the opponent's deck. Parlay. I don't think that will be useful. Still going to play it, however. Can do this, trade favorably into that unit. So it's fine if the Legion Saboteur goes for the attack here. And also do any parlay. I might as well just play the Yabin Ward just for the sake of cycling and shuffling 3 Puffcaps into the opponent's deck. Even if I don't exactly get the card draw off of it, or proc the vulnerable, it's still relevant enough. Can I kill the opponent this turn? I think so. Because this is 6, yep, it's exactly lethal. That was quick. Hopefully the other opponents end up providing a bit more of a challenge. Death Sand, Lord Broadman, Ballistic Pot, definitely Death Sand. It's such a good spell. Cut the card. I think we're cutting the Legion Drummer. Unfortunately, I don't think it's necessary for our deck to work. Monkey Idol should be the first encounter that will actually deal damage to my Nexus. Even if it's just because of the fact that it will summon a bunch of powder monkeys, which will deal 1 damage when they die. What do I want to do here? Let's do Spirit Blossom Teemo. I definitely want to do Mr. Thrift. Now I have 0 mana, but I can still do double Spell Slinger just for the sake of developing a unit that will plant 5 Puffcaps onto the opponent's deck on attack. By doing this, I should be able to put at least 20 more Puffcaps into the opponent's deck. Yep, so it's gone up to 39 now. I don't have a good way to prevent the opponent from attacking next turn, however. Okay, it just goes for the attack right away. Let's do this and let's do Insider Knowledge. Let's see if I get lucky and kill the opponent's entire board. Not really. But I am shuffling a bunch of cards into the opponent's deck, or a bunch of Puffcaps into the opponent's deck. And I level up the Spirit Blossom Teemo. It's kind of lucky. Let's do wind them up. Ooh, the opponent rallied. Fortunately, I have enough jump blockers to the point where I'm not really concerned about the opponent getting to rally. We'll do this for the infinite cards. And then we'll cut or remove one of the opponent's units. I suppose I'll also use this, since it's free. And it shuffles 3 Puffcaps into the opponent's deck. Let's see if the opponent dies. Just 2 Puffcaps here. No. But it gets kind of close. Let's see if it decides to draw more cards and in turn hit more Puffcaps. Doesn't seem like it. I can try to force him to do so. Ooh, there it is. That's a big hit. And just like that, we won against the opponent. Now for the mid boss. Morgana shouldn't be too hard. You can kind of play Teemo as if it was just a bench champion instead of one that also likes to attack into the opponent's nexus. This would summon a veteran investigator. I don't really want to summon a veteran investigator at the beginning of the game. Let's reroll endurance. It's better than nothing. Do I want any other cards? Nah, the cards I own are fine. In fact, I could use some card cutting. Maybe the Portal Pioneer might be the weakest link in the deck. Doesn't really work towards our game plan other than being a cheap unit that replaces itself with a good spell. But I don't think it's that important. Yeah, let's remove it from the deck. We haven't really been making use of the evolution. I guess it's been mostly to buff our champions than our regular units though. So maybe it was okay. It's okay in the deck. Not like I can replace it with anything else. No Spirit Blossom Teemo at the start is a bummer. Let's see what the opponent does. Let's play the Cosmic Ling and pass priority back to him. Definitely want the Mr. Thrift no matter what. And I think I'll cycle the Insider Knowledge maybe. Cycle the Insider Knowledge. Is it better for me than it is for the opponent? Probably not. Wait, why can't I play it? Oh, can't cast due to suppress. Right. Suppression exists. Well, I guess I'm discarding those cards. One Puffcap.
Miss Moore, look what I can do.
The opponent's shackling so many my units, and this suppression is really messing me up. Let's get rid of the suppression, and let's drop down another Mr. Thrift. Let's drop down the Annie. At the very least, I'll be able to block something with the Annie. No, never mind. I have 100 health. I can afford to take 14. I am discarding a bunch of cards though. Well, we've now reached the point where we're starting to discard the curses. So it's kind of okay. Let's try to shuffle more Puffcaps into the opponent's deck. Try to get more card advantage that way, by relying a little bit on the opponent's cards. This I basically go out of cards this turn. Whatever I get this turn for my normal draw must be very good in order to make what I have work. More card draw. Should be fine. The opponent's not really putting that much pressure as well. I'll do this, try to minimize the amount of damage taken. Grant an ally to Spirit. Just enough to survive the attack from the Liz and Dolly. Let's draw this turn. Nice, that's a good card to get. My units are released. I'm also getting some healing off of the Cosmic Youngling. Oh, this is good. Deny the opponent some spell casts. Buff up one of my units as well. This would have been great next turn. Unfortunately, if I had enough mana for it. Unfortunately, I don't. Well, let's force the opponent to play 2. To pay 2 for other spellcasts. No, he's doing the same to me. It's annoying, but I have the spare mana. Kind of want to attack with the Mr. Thrifts because they have regeneration. Maybe try and soften up some of the opponent's units. Shuffle a couple more Puffcaps into the opponent's deck. Even if the opponent's ceiling, eventually he will take more damage from the Puffcaps than he can heal from the Morgana. Sinner's Vice. The opponent will be able to release the Chaincaster right away, but it's still a free Sinner's Vice, so I'm going to take it. Fine. Attacks with everything. We'll block here, I suppose. Right now the biggest threat is probably the Winged Messenger. Next turn I can drop down the Annie, stun or the Tibers, stun the Chained Caster and go for another attack. just keep the Puffcaps up into the opponent's deck. That's nice. That's also a way to get rid of the chain caster. Unfortunately, the Tibbers is fleeting, so I'd rather do this instead. Magical feathering, that's fine. I can pay the tax. No, I can't. I can't because the opponent went ahead and played the other card. It should still be fine. I get to attack with everything here. And shuffle a bunch of Puffcaps into the opponent's deck. Without Morgana, he no longer has access to healing. Next turn I'll have enough mana to go for the suppression and then get rid of the fleeting spells I have in hand. Finally, a Mihira I can play, but that means he also has a Mihira in hand. There she is. Well, at least I'll be able to play my Mihira in response to his. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't get to, release the units he has. Is he not going to attack, really? I figured he was going to attack with the Chained Caster. Well, I don't want my Disintegrate and the Stress Defense to be discarded for nothing, so I'm going to play them now. Suppose I'll do this. There's a lot of visual bugs going on right now, so it's getting kind of hard to see what cards I actually have in my hand. Let's do Bursting Backpack. I'm going to play the Lisa and Dolly there.
Mama told me to stay away from strangers.
And then I'm going to drop down the Cosmic Youngling as the last card. Do this in this sequence so I get to keep a Cosmic Youngling while at the same time I shuffle as many Puffcaps into the opponent's deck as possible. The opponent's already up to 139, so it's getting harder and harder for him to survive. Every draw is a massive gamble on whether or not he gets to live. It's fine. Leveled up the Morganas, but I don't think that's that big of a problem. Stun those two. I can actually go for a kill here. This releases the Mihira? No, it doesn't. Never mind, I got my cards wrong. Well, I still get to attack with enough units to close out the game. Unless the opponent has something. No, he doesn't. That was a little closer than any of the other encounters, but I still had 88 health to spare. Yes, that's the benefit of having like a bunch of levels on your champion, so that you also have an absurd amount of health. And in particular, Spirit Blossom Teemo gets a bunch of health from his upgrades for no reason. I want Memory Game or Sorcery. Let's pick up the Sorcery, makes it easier to go for spellcasts. Let's go for the Smooth Soloist, since it gives us a champion item as a reward. Maybe we can get more Teemos to increase the consistency of our deck. We already managed to prove that we can win without Spirit Blossom Teemo, but playing with him around is significantly easier. Or winning with him around is significantly easier, I should say. Dropped on the Crackshot Corsair. Can actually go bursting backpack, insider knowledge, stress defense. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Actually, I can drop down the Annie first as well.
Make some friends, Tibbers.
Ooh, IT officer. That's going to be good later. Combined with the Death's Hand. Oh wow. I just got a massive high roll. Let's do Sheriff Lariat. I'm going to cycle this. Doesn't really matter. And I attack with everything. We do this here. And I can pull this unit here. Use the stress defense there to minimize the amount of damage this thing takes. Never mind, we just get to attack with it instead. Because we hit a bunch of Puffcaps that kill the opponent's unit.
Bullet to the face.
Yeah, unfortunately I high rolled the opponent to oblivion. Getting the Sheriff Lariat Rose on the first turn for free is not something most decks are equipped to deal with. Black Market Merchant. No, I don't need to rub salt in the opponent's wounds. Let's just pass the turn and kill the opponent with the Puffcaps and be done. Hopefully we get a good item out of this. Alright, we have to pick something first here. Still an enemy follower with 3 or less health this round. That's not that great. I guess we pick up Shadow Totem for the Veteran Investigator. 2 mana draw 2. Ooh, Quick Strike Blade. Do I want Quick Strike Blade on Teemo? Yeah, sure. We can go for spellcasts, drop down Teemo spellcasts again. That sounds like fun. When an ally dies, guaranteed 40 units in hand. Yep, I'm taking that. We highly benefit from our units having a high attack stat, so that we shuffle more Puffcaps when they strike the opponent's Nexus. I would like to keep spells, but I'm going to toss them because they don't fit neatly into a curve. Okay, this is a bit better. We can go for this, pass priority back to the opponent. Let's see what he does. It's fine. Let's shuffle Puffcaps into the opponent's deck. I want Teemo right now. He already replaces 1 mana. Sure.
Another day in the field.
Go up to full mana. We can room explosion here. I can go for something first. I think I'm going to go for an attack first. Right after I play more spellcasts. Draw first, right. Play properly. Draw first, so that we can play according to the extra resources we'll have. This was a bunch of good hits. We can play them all. We can silence there. Done there.
The bite doesn't hurt, but the venom sure does.
Can hit another insider knowledge. You know what? Let's go for it. We're going to get full mana back, or full spell mana back when we hit the Teemo, or we hit with the Teemo, so it's fine.
Ooh, quite a collection.
That's huge. Teemo level up on the first turn. And we hit double Redoubled Valor, so it's actually quadrupled Redoubled Valor. The opponent basically gave us the tools to win the game on the first turn. Well, now we know that we'll kill the Twisted Fate rather easily. You know what? Now that I think about it, we are forcing the opponents to draw a bunch of cards while we are dealing damage to their Nexus. We do get copies of the cards they draw though. I'm just thinking because what might occur is the opponents draw faster than I do, and if that happens, all of a sudden the opponent wins because of the effect of the opponent's power. I don't really want that to happen. Can we hit something good here, please? I haven't played this salvage a single time, I think, so let's get rid of it. Even though it's pretty decent in this encounter. Then let's cut the coup de grace. We haven't played it a single time, and now we have a super consistent deck. That is going to get diluted because the opponent's going to lend me theirs, because I have less than 40 cards. You know what would be interesting here? Nautilus, because Nautilus relies on you going ahead and playing a very large deck. But at the same time, if you draw a whole bunch because of the opponent's power, you get a bunch of stats from Nautilus power. It's a very interesting scenario. I'll think about it. Let's just focus on winning this game first.
Watch the ball, folks.
Really newt fish. Well, let's do let's send first, even though I don't really like it because I'm going to give an item to the opponent's unit. Drop down the Teemo, refill our spell mana. We can do Elixir of Wrath, Bursting Backpack, Mr. Thrift. Let's do Insider Knowledge for the draw. That would have been nice at the beginning, so I can start working on reducing the cost of that thing. I might be able to chain draws with Teemo, because I deal 2 damage to the opponent's Nexus, I draw. I deal 2 damage to the opponent's Nexus, I draw. Let's see if I can make that happen. Let's discard these 2 with the Brash Gambler. Can attack. The opponent's going... We'll hold this guy back so that I don't end up losing. Wait, I get Puffcaps if I draw a card from the opponent's deck? Oh no. Am I going to end up killing myself? There's a very strong chance of that happening, actually. Okay, that's a draw. That's another draw. That's another draw. I can't go infinite with the draws because the cards I'm drawing are from the opponent's Nexus. But I am making a lot of progress towards reaching 0 cards in my deck. The opponent has a bunch of health. What might happen is the opponent runs out of health before they run out of cards, because the amount of cards that I am or the amount of Puffcaps they have in their deck is just increasing exponentially. The more Puffcaps they have, the more the Puffcaps increase. And there's a bunch of visual bugs going on. How annoying. Do I draw 2? Honestly, I don't feel like it. Let's just drop on the Annie while we can. Play the Legend Saboteur for the damage. I would like to have something to play the Death's Hand on. I can't though. I have no viable targets. I guess we take the pass from the opponent. I'm going to draw a bunch of cards here, because I am going to deal a bunch of damage to the opponent's Nexus. Ooh, I definitely want to get the second Mr. Thrift down. Let's try to kill the opponent with damage instead of drawing myself out. The opponent's not playing stuff for me to target with my spells though. That's also a big problem. 186 Puffcaps. Come on, opponent. Play stuff. Let me hit you with my spell so that I can get even more Puffcaps in your deck. And that way you end up dying to the Puffcaps instead of to me just winning the game because of your powers effect. You have 10 mana. Surely you have something you can play here. No, he doesn't. Dude just has nothing. There we go. Now you're playing stuff. Oh, let's do that there. Let's send. How much? Oh, it's not really dealing that much damage. I was thinking the Ruinous Rex would deal more damage because of how many cards we have actually drawn, but it's only 6 cannon barrages he plays. It's not really that impressive. I guess we dealt a bunch of one damage instances to the opponent's Nexus. That's something. As long as we can keep getting bursting backpacks, we are not really going to run out of cards. So it might actually be possible that I kill the opponent with damage. Do this here. Debuff the opponent's unit. He's almost out of mana. There it goes. Out of mana. But the opponent's almost out of cards. Maybe I'm gimping myself by trying to force myself to win with damage instead of just drawing to victory. I can win if I play the Willy Newt Fish. Yeah, let's just take the victory. The game has gone on for long enough. Bam. That's unfortunate. I wanted to win by just killing the opponent with Puffcap. Turns out I couldn't do it. I ended up drawing myself out instead. Win's a win nonetheless. So yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.